Hey guys, Lieutenant Curious here today. I'm here with a huge LEGO Star Wars MOC on the moon of Jedha. So basically, I got this idea requested to me by Clone Production Studios. I will put him right above, right about now. So I don't usually do planets that are well known, or moons. This is a moon. And when I was requested this, I was kind of surprised because I don't usually like to do well-known planets or moons. So I was like, well, maybe. And I thought of a really cool idea, actually a couple, that I was able to include both of them because it is on a 48 by 96 base plate, which is 2 gray base plates. So first off, I will show you guys the terrain and what I did with it. Then I will go in the market, and lastly, the bar, and I will try to keep the commentary somewhat short. So yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so you guys can see the terrain covers all of this area, all through here, and up through this area, and behind the bar a little bit. So, and over here, you can see part of the market, and the other part winds its way around here. I thought the market was quite a weird shape, but I thought it turned out quite nice, especially because it was kind of a border of the MOC, which I thought was really cool. And you can see right here, almost in the middle, is the bar. So yeah, let's get into this awesome desert terrain. Alright, so now into this very cool terrain. You can see all sorts of different colors. Throughout this terrain, I used 3 different base colors, and what I mean by base color is the color on the very bottom. I say this in a lot of my videos, and I use a decent amount of different base colors. So in this one, I used 4 different base colors: dark tan, dark bluish gray, tan, and reddish brown. Now, layered in the terrain, I used lots of different pieces that also included the colors of tan, dark bluish gray, light bluish gray, reddish brown, dark orange, and dark brown. So yes, a lot of different colors, which is kind of surprising for some of you, I bet, because it is a desert. So yeah, it's a little weird, but I do really like how it turned out, especially how large it is, and that especially this area right here, I was able to make it very detailed. So I do hope you guys enjoy it. Now I also had added a few small rock structures in here with simply using some dark tan, dark bluish gray, and light bluish gray slopes, just the 45 slopes, 1 by 2 by 1. So yeah, that's basically about it. Alright, so as you guys can see, the pathway starts here, and as you saw in that overhead view, it winds all over the place, in and out of the market, into the bar, and around the bar. And this is one side of the bar out here, and you can see the pathway comes right through here, and there's a stormtrooper standing there, most likely yelling at another stormtrooper for help because there is currently a rebel attack. And he's basically just standing in the middle of the pathway, has a nice setup, cool backpack just like all the stormtroopers in this MOC, and pretty cool blaster. So yeah, now let's get a few other looks with the terrain, and then get into the awesome market. Alright, so over here you can see a lot more of stud tiles. This is probably the most concentrated area, especially because there are 4 different directions in which the pathway is going, so this is like a central area. The pathway runs into the bar, the pathway goes this way, it goes outside of the MOC this way, and it runs around the bar the other way. So yeah, now let's get into the market. Alright, so in this corner of the market, you can see that it is kind of tall compared to a lot of other parts in the market. And you can already tell I used a lot of bars in different sizes, 3, 4, 6. So you can see there is a tan arch here that I put some pieces on top. I did that again, which you will see in a little bit. And I used a cape, which I believe is given to a Magma Guard, I believe. And it hangs over here and kind of acts as a just as some kind of cloak hanging over. And you can see there is a Stormtrooper helmet that may be for sale, I'm not sure, but I just decided to throw it in there. And then there is also a crate of weapons for sale, most likely. So you can see there are a lot of details in here with some levers, with some grill pieces, and a lot of bars and different types of pieces in here. You can see that there is a bowcaster sitting there. And right here, there's actually a Rebel helmet for sale. So yeah, now let's get into the next corner. Alright, so as you guys can see, in this corner, it's a little bit bigger. And there are more things in there, like there's a barrel with some studs in there. Obviously, probably something for sale. There is a Rebel jetpack sitting there, and lots of other random pieces sitting there. This is a gun merchant sitting here. He has a weapon with a vertical grip on it that he is selling, and he looks kind of old. He has some like crags on his face and looks pretty old, and looks like a grumpy old guy sitting there selling weapons. So I kind of like that look, how that turned out there. And you can see right here I used one of these cloth pieces. I also added that in a third corner that I will show you guys in a little bit. So you can see there are a lot of these things sticking out here. Like there's this weird thing here with some droid arms, some light bluish gray droid arms hanging off, that I decided to throw in there. And lots of different pieces. Up here, I thought this turned out really cool. I added lots of different pieces. I don't know what all the names are. I won't go into that. But you can see that looks pretty cool. And I have this bar hanging down with a green flag that I thought turned out pretty cool. Like this view right here, I thought looks very cool. And this is an Iktachi. This Iktachi is walking through here and looking at the weapons for sale. He is simply a civilian of Jedha City. So yeah, now let's get into the other side of the market. Alright, so as you guys can see, this is the other side of the market. I did a lot of this wall degrading kind of thing, where it just goes up and down and back up a couple times, and back down again, for example. So you can see there are a lot of things in the wall that I just added there to add some nice detail. You can see there's some greebling here and there with some random pieces. Like I said, I will not go into all the different types of pieces, so that would make this video extra long, which I believe it already probably is. So yeah, there are some weapons here in a crate, and also a mortar. There is a musket there, or some kind of weapon. There are a couple axes for sale. And then we get over here to this lady's market, which she is selling some weird plants and vegetables. So you can see there are some mushrooms for sale on this wheel that I kind of just have sitting here. It's not really supposed to be a wheel, but it kind of looks like a basket. So I decided to kind of capture that, and I thought it turned out pretty cool. And you can see back here there is a crate full of seaweed. So she's selling some of these plants to this Bon Calamari civilian. You can see there are some carrots right here in a barrel, some weird yellow plants back there in a barrel, and there is a fish hanging off here. So she has a decent variety of things that she is selling, which I thought was pretty cool. And there is another one of these cloth pieces that gives her area some shade. Her plants would probably need that so that they don't get rotten. So you guys can see more of this cool outline of the market. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the market. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments section below. Now I will get to the bar. Alright, so now we are near the entrance of the bar once again, and you can see there is another civilian of Jedha City, which is where this is located, if I haven't mentioned that, on the moon of Jedha. This is obviously before what happened in Rogue One. Jedha was destroyed by the Death Star. So obviously this would be before that happened. It actually took place a week before that time era happened, and I will explain why. Because Baze Malbus is actually in this MOC. You have not seen him yet, so I will show you guys where he is in a little bit and tell you when this is happening and why he is here. And this obviously would be my own storyline, because we don't know for sure if he actually would have traveled all over Jedha City for what he is doing, which I basically came up with myself. So yeah, before I get into the bar, there's another thing that happened here. That is a stormtrooper that is using the butt of his gun to hit a Rodian rebel continuously into the ground. And you can see the Rodian is bleeding. There are some 1x1 trans-red plates. So yeah, that's probably the most sad part of this. I tried not to make it too actiony. So yeah, now let's get into the overhead shot of the bar and what is happening on top of it. Alright, so you guys can see this is the top of the bar, and there's a decent amount of detail up here, but this top of the bar is made up of mainly light bluish gray. There are some small details, like I used some studs, some stud tiles, some 2x2 tiles in a few different colors, but mainly the detail for the top of this was meant for these crates. I added two of these crates, that black crate over there, that are pretty simple, and over here is the air conditioning system. There's a crate sitting on top of it, and then here's the air conditioning system. It runs right, well, technically right into the building. And there is also, what is pretty cool, this 8x8, I don't know what this piece is called, but basically the rebels can actually see through that, and you guys can as well, to an extent. You can see through there a little bit, and that would actually play a role for the rebels to see if there's any stormtroopers inside the bar, which there actually is. So you can see right here is another, some kind of crate device, not sure, but I decided to throw it together. Thought it turned out pretty cool. And there are more of these 1x2 crates with the jumper plate on top. I added a few right over here in the market area, if you haven't seen that yet. So now let's get into what the rebels are actually doing here. So you can see this Duros is running in. He has a pretty cool backpack, and he is running up to hide behind these crates like the Neimoidian rebel already is. Now the Neimoidian rebel is hiding behind these crates and getting ready to stand up and open fire on these stormtroopers that have already found a rebel, that Rodian, that the stormtrooper was hitting him with the butt of his gun. Right here we have another rebel who is kneeling and getting ready to open fire on the stormtrooper that is down there. So yeah, now let's get into the inside of the bar. Alright, so as you guys can see, this is the inside of the bar, and I just thought this bar turned out really, really cool. A lot of different features of it. And yes, that's right, guys. Baze Malbus himself from Rogue One is right up here, behind the bar, behind a second entrance of the bar. Now, the story with Baze that I kind of came up with is that he was very protective of Chirrut Îmwe, so I thought that it would be realistic that about a week before they got to Jedha City, so Baze was basically trying to get some supplies for Chirrut because he's very protective of him, so I thought it was realistic to have Baze in it, and Clone Production Studios, who requested this MOC of me, said that I should add Baze in it because I had Baze. So I decided to do that, and I thought that feature was quite nice, so I hope you guys enjoyed how I added Baze Malbus. So now let's get into the more details of this bar. So you can see that there are some 2x2 tiles, and I added some kind of design of the tiling on the bottom with some 1x1 tiles going in a square around the 2x2 tiles. And the thing is, I didn't have a lot of either of them, so I kind of improvised and made some piles of sand, which are actually very realistic, because if a lot of people walk through this bar, then a lot of sand would get trekked inside. So I thought that made pretty good sense. And yeah, so you can see that there are a couple of bar stools sitting here. One of them is knocked over, and there is a random civilian sitting there drinking. And back here, you can see the bartender is a Lannik. Lannik is actually one of my favorite species. The Jedi Master Evan Peel was Lannik, and that's actually his minifigure head. And you can see back here, I thought this turned out very cool. There are shelves for the drinks, and I have quite a few different drinks, mainly the same design. They're just cylinders with a stud on top. Now this one is a little different. It's more like a wine glass, you could say. It is a trans blue cylinder with a cone on top and then a black stud. And then I also had a different type up here. It's just a gold kind of goblet, you could say, with a pink drink inside that has a trans pink stud. That's the only one I have, so I decided to throw it in there. And you can see over here is more drinks in some crates. So yeah, now I'll give you guys another view of the bar and go into some of the other features of it. Alright, so as you guys can see, there is a stormtrooper currently walking in to see if anyone suspicious is in here, which, by the way, there is. There is another view of Baze Malvis peering through here. He has his Lego-made pretty cool backpack and his custom weapon. So as we get back in here, you can see more of that tiling. There is a worker of the bar here that is sweeping some of the dust with a broom. And we can get back over here, and there are some of these like reddish brown lever pieces is what you could call them. And yeah, I just decided to throw them in the corner there. And then right here, there is actually a spilled drink, which had some kind of green liquid in it that spilled all over the place and kind of made a nice puddle there, which I thought turned out pretty cool. So yeah, that's basically about it for the inside of the bar. Now I will get to letting you guys go. Alright guys, so that's about it for my huge Lego Star Wars MOC on the moon of Jedha. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to let me know what you thought of it and certain aspects of it, like the terrain and the market and the bar, in the comment section below. So yeah, if you guys would like to check out my Instagram for daily behind the scenes updates on all my builds, be sure to do that. And also, be sure to leave a like on the video to help me out, and subscribe for some more awesome Lego Star Wars content. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you next time.